IP and intangible assets can take many forms if they're bankable. It depends partly on the sector, it depends a lot on the company, but there's things like trademarks, their own software that they've developed, and it's got to be their own software, obviously. Minor acts, databases, etc., contracts, all these things can be used. Sometimes even patents, because everybody wants to think it's just patents and so on. That's why I'm putting that on as a sort of deliberately putting that on as an afterthought. Patents aren't the absolute be-all and end-all in IP lending. They're great for things like advanced manufacturing, but if you haven't got patents, doesn't mean you haven't got IP. That's a very important point to make. But basically, any of these assets that we're talking about have got to be directly revenue generating and not a speculative side project. That's probably pretty obvious, but it's worth saying. Banks, quite rightly, are looking for IP that's generating revenues. Once those assets have been identified, with us in our process, which is tried and tested, a number of banks use it, the client then pays for and will complete something we call Solomon, which is just a trading name for the valuation engine. And that will give a conservative bankable value because of the way we combine them. And the importance is that's a conservative valuation. It's not a sort of a very speculative valuation, because that is not of any help to a bank if we did that.